Hello, welcome to my student support system. In today's class, we will discuss about contractures and range of motion exercises. This lecture is in English, and if you want to study in Hindi, just click on I button and you will get link of Hindi lecture, or you can directly visit to channel my student support system. What is a contracture? Contractures are defined as physical deformities and lack of full passive range of motion in a joint resulting from structural changes of non-bony tissues such as muscles, tendons, ligaments, joint capsule, skin, etc. Mostly flexion contractures develop like this because the flexor muscles are more powerful than extensors. What are the causes of these contractures? Contractures can be caused by many disorders which includes brain and nervous system disorders such as cerebral palsy or stroke. Inherited disorders like muscular dystrophy, they can also lead to contractures, and nerve damage and neuropathies, they can also lead to contractures. Apart from this, reduced use. For example, from the lack of mobility or inability to move a body part due to injury, unconsciousness, paralysis, etc. Severe muscle and bone injury, they can also cause contractures, scarring after traumatic injury, and scarring after burn. They are the major causes of contractures. Clinical manifestations. Clinical manifestation of contractures include physical deformity. By this, they just seeing or observing the client, we can find out the client is suffering from contractures like this. The loss of normal function of the body part because of these contractures. If the contracture is like this, they cannot hold the things properly. So, this is known as loss of proper work and loss of range of motion, pain. These are the basic clinical manifestations. How you will treat the contractures? Treatment of contractures may include long-time aggressive physiotherapy, splinting, plastering, etc. may also help to reduce contractures and regaining range of motion. Surgical management includes contracture release with or without skin grafting. Main stress is given on prevention of contractures. If we are able to prevent, that is fine. So how we will prevent contractures? Proper positioning is very important for prevention of contractures. In Fowler's position, flexion contracture of the neck is prevented by placing head against the mattress in the spine position and providing support by a small pillow. Flexion contracture of wrist. This can be prevented by using hand pillows or to support the hand in this position. During positioning, it is very important to provide a natural flexion position. So, natural position of our body is slight flexion, like our hand natural position is like this. So, this curvature should be maintained especially for the paralyzed patients by using some support, some towel or small pillows. Special attention should be given while providing care to unconscious and paralyzed patients as they are at most risk of developing flexion contractures. Placing the patient in prone position for 30 minutes 2 or 3 times daily help to prevent knee and hip flexion contractures. Active and passive range of motion exercises help to maintain joint mobility, increase circulation and prevent development of contracture in paralysis extremities. Maintaining correct body alignment when the patient is in bed is essential regardless of the position is selected. The nurse should explain the benefits of body alignment, positioning, and help the client to assume these positions and use pillows to support the body in correct alignment. A trochanteric roll can be placed at both sides of hip joint, extending from the crest of ilium to the mid-thigh to prevent external rotation of the hip. When the client is in spine position, patient should be encouraged to wear shoes for the support and protection to prevent foot drop, because shoes keep the angle at the ankle at 90 degree. This is especially for paralyzed patients. Exercising of quadriceps muscle prevent flexion contracture at the knees. If the client has had an amputation, then we should use compression dressing. This can promote the residual limb shaping and minimizing the contracture formation. Frequent lubrication of the skin with water and silica based lotions, exercising and splinting the part can prevent skin contracture in the burn patients. Splints and functional devices may be applied to the extremities for the contracture control in burn patients. Daily exercise for the muscle stretching are prescribed to minimize the joint contractures. Special attention is given to hamstring muscle, gastrocnemius muscle, hip abductors, biceps, and wrist and finger flexors. Now we come to the movements used in ROM exercises. Many times we say that ROM exercises should be performed active as well as passive. So what are these ROM? ROM means range of motion for each joint. So there are some terms for these movements. First is abduction. Abduction means movement away from the midline of our body. So this is midline, and when we are moving anything, hand or leg, away from our body, this is called abduction. And when we move it back, movement towards the midline of the body, then it is called as adduction. In the same way, in the foot also, this will be abduction, and when it will come back, this will be adduction. Flexion and extension. Flexion means bending a joint so that the angle of joint diminishes. Here, if we are moving like this, so this angle is reduced. So this is the flexion. Here, this is the flexion. And when we are moving away from the ventral part, or when the joint is increasing, then it is called extension. So this is at knee joint, when we are moving like this will be extension, and this is flexion. Here this is flexion, this is extension. So at every joint there will be these two types of movement, flexion and extension. Then another movement are rotation. Rotation means turning or movement of a body part around its axis. Like we are moving our leg like this or our hand like this. There are two types of rotations. Internal rotation, where turning inward or towards the center, so moving like this. And external rotation means turning outwards or away from the center, like this. Okay. Then dorsiflexion, movement that flexes or bends the hand back towards the body or foot towards the leg, especially upwards like this. This is dorsiflexion. So here you can see by this picture, this is dorsiflexion. In the hand, it is dorsiflexion. Okay. And for opposite of dorsiflexion, there will be two separate terms for hand and leg. For hand, it is palmar flexion, the movement that flexes or bends the hand in the direction of the palm. So this will be palmar flexion. Here this is palmar flexion, this is dorsiflexion. and in the leg this is dorsiflexion and this is plantar flexion. Okay, so what is plantar flexion? Movement that flex or bend the foot in the direction of sole, that will be called plantar flexion. Pronation, rotation of the forearm so that the palm of hand is down. Okay, so movement, this movement when palm is down, so this is called pronation, and opposite to this, when the palm of hand is up, then this will be spination. Okay, so movement like this, pronation, and then coming back, it is spination. So this is pronation, and coming back, this will be spination. Opposition, opposition is touching the thumb to fingertip of the same hand like this when we are counting something. So this is known as opposition. Next is inversion. Inversion means movement that turns sole of the foot inwards, moving the foot like this inwards, and eversion, movement of that turn the sole of foot outwards like this. Okay, so this will be inversion and this will be eversion for sole. Okay, thank you students for watching this video. You can subscribe the channel for latest updates. You can like Facebook page, and for making your notes you can visit blogger mynursingstudents.blogspot.com. You follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join Facebook group Nursing Notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.